Hey kids, if you're a fashion-conscious young hood, remember that cute girl won't even look your way unless you knock over an astral gate. Do it today. You mean like that? So, listen guys, why don't we all pony up the information we have on this case and agree to split the bounty 3 ways? What do you say?
You're kidding, right? You're the one who said to work separately. Each one gathering the facts and examining them.
Occasional rivalry between comrades is healthy. I believe that's the way you put it.
Did the size of the reward scramble your brain?
What? You guys are really keen on the idea. Hey, we're supposed to be a team here, you know?
Since when? You're just walking trouble. Stay out.
Who's this guy? New hit? This was the only place I could go. And now you're leaving, just like that. What are you going to do? Just throw your life away like it was nothing?
I'm not going there to die. I'm going to find out if I'm really alive. Bang.
Greetings and salutations, welcome to To Zaskaii TV. It's been a minute, it's actually been more than a minute, you know. But quick introduction, let me keep it brief. My name is Zaskaii. I am a freelance 3D artist, animator, editor, and I do a lot of work with clients, brands, content creators. But yeah, that's just a bit about me. But it's not about me today, it's about Zaskaii TV today, because where have I been? I was having like a huge thought process. I'll keep it brief. A huge thought process about whether I should continue this or not. But I think there's something raw and natural about just speaking, right? Instead of everything being edited or planned out, production. I can just sit down, record, film, boom, you know. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop, because I recently watched Cowboy Bebop. So I was looking for something to watch, and then I'm really into these kind of shows, like a lot of 90s, Cowboy Bebop 90s. Or 2000 shows, but shows that essentially are more nuanced, you know, experimental type shows. And I was looking for something. I was like, I don't know what to watch. I literally came off. I think it was Haikyuu. Yeah, I think it was Haikyuu. That was 4 seasons long. And usually when I watch something for that long, it's really hard for me to get into something again. And I struggle with just watching stuff in general. I would take a ridiculously long break before I watch something else. I don't know my order. But I know One Piece is there, I know Parasite is there, I know Perfect Blue is there, Cowboy Bebop is somewhere amongst them, and I recently watched Isle of Dogs, which is also out there. But it was so, Cowboy Bebop was so good. The story, the writing, yeah, there's so much to get into, but I broke this down into 3 categories. So the first category would be my main little yap, you know, the story, my favorite characters, etc., etc. Maybe talk about soundtrack as well. And then I want to get into the nitty gritty stuff. But then I want to go into animation, Spike as a character, and then we'll end with an ending. But anyway, yeah, the first thing I did want to say before I get into the story is that there's just not much of this anymore, and I'll get more into that later. But where have these shows gone? Talk to me. Where are these shows gone? Where one season, it doesn't have to be one season, but I feel like the one season adds to it because it's just so experimental, it's so nuanced, it's so different. It's just stuff that it's like indie. I think that's the best comparison. It's like indie, you know, in a way where they really aren't being held back by studios, executives. They can just make. I don't get it. These are the stuff that become the most iconic. I'll give you another one, Evangelion. That's also it feels indie, right? As in the creation process feels indie. It's got 1 season, it's very experimental, it doesn't hold anything back, and I just want more of that. If you guys know any more stories like this, I watched another one was Lane, Serial Experiment Lane, which I didn't really like. That was too experimental, and I guess I just couldn't get into it, but just more stories like that. I know Ghost in the Shell. I don't know if I ever watched that though. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop was just different. Like there just isn't much stuff like this anymore. Just you can just tell like they enjoyed it. You can tell they enjoyed it. Like every scene, and I'll talk more about this later. But every scene, every moment is really thought about, and it feels like it has no boundaries, no barriers, no one telling them no, you can't add that into this show. You gotta do it this way. You gotta be like this show. It's none of that. So I really appreciate that from Cowboy Bebop, and I'm looking for more shows like that. But let's segue into the story real quick. So with the story Cowboy Bebop offers is a very sad story, but it's like it's like a story where you just breathe like a sigh of relief, and you're kind of happy, but you're kind of sad, you know. And that's a feeling that I feel like stories really try too hard to capture, and they just don't end up capturing it. Cowboy Bebop, it's really hard to keep saying it. Cowboy Bebop does really well at excelling at that. So my favorite character is Spike, but then I also really liked Ed. I feel like his whole character, whoever voiced Ed, I should have done my research and then maybe spoke about this as well. Whoever voiced Ed, man, and I don't watch much dub. I'm always watching sub if I'm watching like anime, I guess, and it was just amazing. Ed's character is kind of simple. It's very simple. I wouldn't say it's too complicated, but it's very simple. His character is the same as Faye. I would kind of put them in the same category where they're kind of just trying to look for purpose. Same thing with Faye. What is my purpose, or like essentially what am I in life? Where do I belong? And Ed finds that really quickly. Ed is the quickest one. He finds that really quickly and leaves. He leaves the whole Bebop crew. Faye, I think they stays in the end, but she found it in the end, and that was with the crew. Spike, on the other hand, had to really dig deep, because that was like, honestly, people be like, so mean. No, it's not you. That's a depressed man. Like, that's a man that really is just looking for purpose and coping with the whole grandeur of this, you know, the whole space. His whole fighting, those are just coping mechanisms. That's how you say it. I don't know. But those are the things where he latches onto, because he runs away from his past. He has a dark past. So instead of confronting it and really closing the fridge, which was a really good episode. That's good writing. That was the episode. That's such good writing. Am I supposed to be talking about writing? Just look at my nose. No, I'm not. But I'm a dabble into it real quick. Anyway, that was good writing. Where I think it was, I can't remember what episode it was actually, but it was midway through the show. It was an episode where there was this creature that came out of a fridge. So yeah, where Faye was ill, Jet was ill. I think it was last or something like that. And essentially, Spike left this like, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a piece of meat. I don't even know what it was. I can't remember. But he left it in the fridge, and it was left for too long, and then it escaped and started like contaminating people around him. And really good metaphor for his whole story, what he's been doing since. He's been keeping his past locked up, and now it's slowly bleeding out. We can see, and I'll get into it a bit more as well. I want to talk about writing so bad, but I'm gonna have to hold back. But with the whole what was the clan name? I can't remember the clan name. Was it the Vicious clan? I can't remember what the clan was called. But with the whole Vicious thing, he was essentially like that. He was creeping up to be the leader, and Spike had to do something about that. And he could either ignore that and really just let go of his past and just, you know, forget about his whole thing. You know, but he decided, no, I'm gonna face my past at the very end. And we know what happened at the end. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into writing just yet. I want to speak about the soundtrack. This is what I'm saying. We need to give more money to people like this. Like authors like this. We need more of them. I'm trying to be one of them, but we also need more of them. Honestly, one season experimental shows that kind of just push boundaries way more than just anything else. You know, a good mainstream example would be Arcane, I guess. I haven't watched Arcane, but I think that's a good mainstream example where you have a show that's been given a lot of love, care. Yeah, it might have executives telling them this and that, which isn't inherently a bad thing. Like that's a good thing. You need that, but at the same time, you don't want them telling you things where they'll be like, "Oh, you gotta do it this way or that way." You kind of want to be free, you know. But yeah, we're talking about the soundtrack. It was just honestly like, what I love the most in storytelling is juxtaposition, where essentially it's a chaotic moment. You're just playing smooth jazz. Oh my goodness! Like that, I promise you, when I'm watching these stuff like this, I watch it, I smile, I rewind. I smile, I rewind. It's just too. It is obvious, but most people don't do it. We kind of, especially as like creatives, we kind of stray to what's trendy, what's the easiest thing to do, what's the most numbing thing to do. Like imagine like a rock scene, you're playing rock music, or like the most obvious scenes, we do the obvious things. Why don't, instead of doing the obvious thing, we do the unobvious thing, if that's the word, right? Like I think the scene that really hit me like that was when Spike left. No, not Spike left. The episode 24. I know he did leave. No, sorry. That's wrong here. The episode where he was fighting the clan came after him because, you know, stuff were creeping up. Vicious was about to become the leader, and it's a chaotic scene, right? You got Spike shooting down spaceships. You got Vicious being hung, and he switches up last minute and says, "Psych! I'm gonna kill everyone here instead," because we thought he was getting executed, and it's just blissful, smooth jazz. Like, you gotta hear this. Let me play it for you, bro. You gotta hear it. This is what it's playing. People are getting shot. Missiles are being launched. This is all we hear. Honestly, it's beautiful. The composer, seatbelts. It's just amazing, honestly. So yeah, that's soundtrack out the way. Went on a crazy tangent right there. But yeah, I'm looking for more of that in storytelling, and that's what I try to implement the most. Doesn't mean that you can't do the obvious sometimes. Sometimes you can do the obvious and then throw them off. Switch it up last minute, right? There's nothing wrong with doing the obvious, but don't keep it obvious for everything, right? Know what has already happened and use that to be different, right? Know what's already worked and use that to be different. Anyway, so I want to get into chapter 2 of this whole talk, which is a nitty-gritty style, right? And I've already kind of spoke about this one a bit, but the first note I had was that most stories nowadays are very linear. They're very predictable. Didn't see that one coming, you know. A recent show that I watched, and it's not dog on the show, no pun intended. Hold on, wait. I watched Isle of Dogs. Anyway, I watched Isle of Dogs, and this is not to say it's bad or anything. I really loved it, and I love the animation, and it's really inspiring. You know, I love Wes Anderson's style, but I literally predicted, and I'm not trying to glorify myself anyway, but I literally predicted what would happen. I said, and this is spoilers for Isle of Dogs if you haven't watched it, but Isle of Dogs is a movie by Wes Anderson, animation. It's really good story, but I felt it was just too predictable. That's my only I was like, bro, of course he's gonna be either related to it or it. That's what I thought it was. And I guess maybe because I'm a writer as well, so I'm thinking that way too. But at the same time, I feel like I think it was a Corey Kenshin video. I'm waffling like crazy, but I love this. Anyway, I think it was a Corey Kenshin video, and there was this. It was a Spooky Scary Sunday, and there was this show he was watching, and I literally predicted what would happen, and he was like, "Oh no, is this gonna happen?" I was like, So even people who aren't writers or don't claim to be writers still, the average audience can still predict what's gonna happen. Yap aside, right? I feel like Cowboy Bebop is so different in that regard. I knew that no. I thought he would die, but I was like, they wouldn't do it. That's what I thought. I was like, I think it was episode like midway through, I was like, it feels like he's gonna die. Like there's so much foreshadowing that he's gonna die, but I thought they couldn't do it. Like I thought maybe he would change in a way, and that change would give him life. Really, that change was death. The sacrifice for his change was death, and I feel like, man, like imagine the story that does that. Honestly, like I need more of that. More stories that don't feel very predictable, and it helps me out in writing as well. I'm writing Halloum. I spent a lot of time refining the story across the summer. I've done a bit of viz dev as well. I'm trying to do more too. Hopefully it becomes like my final major for uni. See how that goes. But anyway, for writing as well, it's just like it helps me out a lot because Spike's whole character his whole hero. What am I saying? Spike's whole hero arc starts. He's at the very last stage, right? So he's right before rebirth, and that rebirth, he's death, right? For him to face his past, in the process, his reward was death. So yeah, honestly, and Spike as a character as well, he's very jazzy. It's a good word. Very jazzy character. My favorite episode was the episode where second to last episode, episode 3, where he fought Vicious for the first time. Vicious is such a cool character. Like as a villain, like he also died as well, but he just, your presence doesn't have to be there all the time to be a good villain. Like he barely showed up. He showed up episode 3 a bit midway through, I think, and then we figure out more about him last 2 episodes. Like his presence doesn't have to be crazy, but we just know we need like little droplets of information, which we do get quite a bit. And like his whole thing where he was I don't know if it was jealousy of Spike or I don't know if it was jealousy of Julia, but Julia and Spike, because their relationship was interesting, but they never really solved it until the end, and then she dies. Like, what's not fair? But I understand why. Spike fulfilled his purpose. It's just beautiful foreshadowing. The fridge episode, right? Everything around him gets contaminated. Everything around him dies when he confronts his past. When he confronted the food in the fridge. So that's the whole episode. It's just them. It looks like a silly episode. Them all dancing around, trying to destroy this alien creature that was kept in the fridge for years and years and years. But really and truly, it's a metaphor for the whole show. Spike, once he confronts his past, everyone around him is gonna get hurt in some way, right? Hurt and then change, or hurt and die, which was kind of crazy. With Faye, not with Faye. Actually, no. With Jet, he kind of accepts it. It hurts. You can tell it hurts. He accepts it, and he already changed by that time, so it doesn't really matter. With Faye, she changed. It hurt, but she stayed the same. She stayed with Jet in the end. With Vicious didn't change. It still became the one-minded character that he was, where he sought to just rule entirely, but he didn't come with change. Like his death didn't come with change at all, so he just found death instead. With Julia, Spike knew he couldn't stay. Spike was like, no, I gotta go. I can't stay with you anymore. I have to finish what I have to finish. And she dies. It's a beautiful scene as well. So yeah. What else did I want to speak about? Animation too. I really enjoyed the animation. I felt like the quality was just there, you know. Everything about it was amazing. And I'm just looking forward to watching the movie, which I haven't watched. I will watch that soon. But yeah, I think that I've yapped enough. How did you find Cowboy Bebop? If you've watched it, you should be here. If you're here and you saw the spoilers at the start, then you mean you watched it. So how did you find Cowboy Bebop? Do let me know. But yeah, in terms of what Zaskaii, the future of Zaskaii right now, uni starts like very very soon, so I'm cooked. Rewriting Heirloom, doing a lot of studying as well. So yeah, Cowboy Bebop for me was a huge inspiration, and I do hope to consume more shows like that. Here is my unfiltered take on it. I feel like I've missed a bunch of stuff, but honestly, go watch Cowboy Bebop. Have a blessed day. Zaskaii is out.